law. Not sure what that means, but then he goes further and says the town of Wolfville, including the planning and development department, have always been aware of and supportive of our business plan to sell our produced beverages off-site. So I reach out right now to the church brewery and ask them to come up and tell us who told them that and what was said. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
Well, I guess they're not.
Well, this is actually addressing the council. It's for us to an opportunity to hear these people. That debate would be for another venue or another time. Tomorrow, we will have our opportunity to discuss what took place, what we heard this evening.
Okay, well, I think that speaks volumes that they're not willing to come up and tell us really what happened.
Well, actually, that's, whether they are or not, that wouldn't be part of, wouldn't be something we would want to take place. This is not a debate.
Well, of course you don't want to hear that.
Why can't they answer the question? Is there a problem with answering the question?
They can if they choose. It's just not in this, for this milieu, if you
Well,
will.
they can now if they want.
Well, no, they can't. This is a public hearing. This is not a public debate.
They can answer if they want.
They can answer if they
No,
want.
they can't.
Nobody's doing
Thank you, George.
They don't think it's-
Anybody else?
Well, don't they get 10 minutes too?
My name is Janet Mooney, and I'm not a resident of Warford. Can I speak?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just want to say that you have a de facto building there that is can manufacture beer, can produce beer to be sold throughout the province and maybe beyond. And it's brought people back to this part of the country, to this town, and they've made a big investment in this town. If the process, and I'm not a lawyer, if the process was flawed, you can learn from that and it won't happen again. For the people in the neighborhood, yes, I can sympathize with not being able to see the light that you saw before the building went up. But I'm hoping that you can work together to solve any issues that may arise and realize that you can all benefit from this particular venture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jen.
Good evening, my name is Jeff Hennessy. I work here at Acadia. Full disclosure, I played a gig at the church brewery yesterday. It was awesome, and I love this place. And I do love these people and what they've done. That's completely irrelevant. This group followed the rules that were set out for them. We're somehow under some kind of illusion that we're debating tonight whether this brewery is permissible in this zone. It is. If we're going to reference the judge's ruling, we have to recognize the fact that the ruling said that this is a permissible institution to have in this zone. A microbrewery is allowed in this zone. The question you have before you is, in this zone, can you produce a product in one place and sell it someplace else? And I think you've all agreed that that's something that you want to have happen. It's an unintended consequence of the MPS, and that's what you're seeking to amend. As far as process goes, I think this is the 5th meeting I've attended on this issue. I work at Acadia. We have far fewer meetings to deal with processes than questions as this has been. So I think the process has been followed. Conflict of interest is about whether you have a personal gain from something or not, financially, or your family members do. I don't see anybody in the council having any personal gain from any decision being made. I probably have more personal gain from this institution than the council does. So what I'm really, really concerned about is that as a co-owner of a business in this town, my wife and I own a dental clinic in this town, I'm concerned about the message that the council might be sending to ethical and sustainable business developers in this town, that they're not free from political interference, even if they follow all the rules that you set out for them, the process. So I encourage you to follow through with this amendment and get out of the way of this business that's seeking to try and do something really great for this town. Thank you.
George Townsend, we live on 3 Seaview. I'm not opposed to the restaurant or the brewery at all, I've never been.
Just so they can hear you back there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I had some concerns, and I visited Marcia Elliott at the time she released the permit, and she assured me that the control on the brewery was the limitation of not being allowed to sell off-site. Now, apparently, she hadn't been informed by the knowledge that everyone had before. All of you, apparently. I assume you all knew that the brewery intended to sell off-site. Marcia did not know. She assured me that the one control on this brewery for size was that it could sell only exclusively to the restaurant and to retail sales. 2 million units a year? No, she said, no problem. It's limited at 1.5 million. They can only sell it. My wife and I attended a court proceeding in Windsor, and Judge Warner, he did not make up a rule that you could not sell it off-site. He said that was the rule. That was the rule passed by Marcia, or put forth, read right in clear English. The other concern I visited Marcia about was the disposal of wastewater. I gave a paper to the council, which was never acknowledged, about wastewater removal 100, which spoke about the difficulties of dealing with wastewater and the cost of it. And all I asked Marcia was, if there's a cost, an additional cost to handling the wastewater, as it appears there will be, who pays? If the brewery pays, fine. All I could see was that they were putting the wastewater into the storm drain. There was no indication it was being treated. I asked Marcia that, and she said, well, I've inquired about it, and they're going to negotiate and handle that. Never got back to me, never told me how they're going to do it, never told me who would pay. And when it was raised again with the town, they said, well, we think we can handle it. Really? With whose money? Again, if it's the developer that pays for the wastewater treatment, fine. But all indications through similar breweries to Ontario are that small towns of our size have been shocked at the cost of wastewater treatment. Are they treating the water before it leaves the brewery? Are we treating the water after it leaves the brewery? If it becomes a problem, who pays? You've said somewhere, well, we may have to have an agreement with them. An agreement means both sides agree. What if they don't agree? Will the brewery pay for any excessive costs for treating the wastewater? Who has answered that? No one. I'm a little concerned that you're saying that you knew all along. All of you knew all along. No, you didn't. No, you did not, because we were told by the only counselor who came to visit us, only one of you came to see us, that it was as of right at the time. That was wrong. It wasn't a lie, it was a misunderstanding. But apparently others of you understood that. You understood that it was restricted to only on-site sales. But it wasn't in the permit. So you're not making new rules to prevent them from doing what they want to do. You're breaking the rules. You mean that even if we go to court, even if we were to win, you'll just break it, you'll just change it. If you don't like it, you'll make a C1 into a C3, just because you want to. If the building is now, what, an F3? Was that the zoning? Which is light manufacturing, not allowed in C1? Well, which you'll make it allowable. Why? Why are you doing it after the fact? If you knew they wanted to sell off property anyway, why did you give a development agreement in that way, a permit? So obviously you didn't know. If you'd known, you would have changed it, wouldn't you? But you didn't. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Could I make a couple of comments at my last?
Actually, we're just gonna go through the room.
Pardon me?
Thanks, Jeff, but no.